hello.
Welcome,
friends.
everyone. Oop, I hit
Shaking
the
the
table. All right.
Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Happy Wednesday.
Welcome to another episode of the Nursing School Show. Ta-da!
Hello.
We're talking about ATI, Hesi. Any other acronyms? That's about it. Maybe more acronyms. What other
maybe
acronyms
more.
do you guys want to talk about today? NCLEX. So all things ATI, Hesi, how to study for them, etc.
Etc.
That is Christina.
Hello.
I am Matthew.
I am a nurse.
I am not.
Not a nurse.
For all of those that are new to us.
All of the questions that we get.
Hi.
We'll just high level hit the questions we get all the time. Hello, I'm Christina. I'm a nurse. This is Matthew. Not a nurse. Yes, we are married.
Yes, we get that question often.
Yes. I think that covers it.
All right.
Hello.
Any questions about ATI Hesi, go ahead and pop them in the comments below. And if you have not yet, subscribe, hit the bell. We go live every Monday and Wednesday and post up YouTube videos weekly. Mondays, yes.
Yes. Hi, Sonish. That Sonish. Am I saying that right?
That Sonish.
That Sonish.
Yes.
Hi, Marfa Joes. Welcome.
All right.
Welcome.
And while we're getting started too, the question of the day, as always, where is everyone joining from?
Where's the Bahamas at?
There we go.
Okay, Instagram. I'm sorry.
Liz, I have my first ATI exam in 3 weeks.
Woohoo!
Hooray! Sent us practice exams through the ATI website. She said it's covering everything we've learned so far. What do you do? Please advise. I added the please, but yes. That's awesome.
Yes. Jenna, hello. So we are going to talk about all that, Liz. Love it.
Stick around.
Hermania, hello. Scrubs and Toddlers. That is a great Instagram handle. Hello, friends.
Scrubs and Toddlers.
That's the
I'm assuming
story
since
of
this
my
is
life.
a nursing channel, scrubs as in what you're wearing and not the other scrubs, I guess. But I guess it could be both.
Bill, hello. Hello.
Let's see. Oh, from North Carolina. All right.
Dom.com. Hello. That's funny. That's good.
Connecticut. All right. Where is everyone
Connecticut.
else joining from?
Iowa.
Travis, how can I score higher on the TEAS test in Hesi? I have study guides off Facebook.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
So the TEAS is a separate thing, and we will not be talking about the TEAS tonight. Who asked about the TEAS? Where am I seeing that?
Travis.
Oh, hello, Travis.
YouTube's.
So for Matthew, because he's not a nurse and he doesn't know.
Yes. I am the avatar of those that are non-nurses or does not know what's going on.
Raise your hand if you had to take the TEAS test. So the TEAS test is an entrance exam to get into nursing school. My program did not require the TEAS test. I did not have to take it. But I do recommend, here's who I recommend that you go for the TEAS, okay? Go to Kate, her name is Kate, over at as in the at symbol, at Pre-Nursing Smarter on Instagram. Check her out. So she does all the
okay. Travis is trying to do LPN to RN.
Yes. Okay. So you're an LPN now, and then you have to take the TEAS to get into RN school or your RN program. RN school. Do they even call it RN school? It's not like med school. RN school, that's not a thing. School. No, it's nursing school, RN school, or RN program. Anyway, that was weird.
JJ, hello. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. First time here.
Several times. So have you taken the TEAS several times? Or do you say RN school several times? No, I'm confused. We're having a Hesi exam this Friday.
Program is what we call it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I'm not sure how to prepare for it. Yes, I have advice for the Hesi and ATI. Okay, let's get into it, friends.
Let's dive into the advices of ATI and Hesi. All right.
Who's in an ATI program? Who's in a Hesi program? Tell me.
Okay. Ooh, I'm going to do a poll. Poll on YouTube, not poll on Instagram, sorry. Create a poll.
Yeah.
how should I call it? Which program
Mm-hmm.
are you in? Does that make
Hesi ATI. I don't know. That counts. That's fine.
Does that make sense?
You got the farm box. I'm so excited.
Ask your community.
Who just asked about pharmacology?
Oh, there we go.
LPN school.
All right, over on YouTube, I just popped in a poll because I like these polls. What program are you in, Hesi or ATI? It is funny. We'll see how it works out because usually there's a disparity. Usually all of one type is on Instagram and all of the other type is on YouTube.
It's weird how
So,
that happens. It
let's
happens
see.
all the time.
Let's see how it goes.
Are we more split tonight? Tell us. Yes. Hesi or ATI? Where are you at? Instagram, where are you at? Sorry, Instagram. I'm like up. Okay, so med surcharge class. Okay, sorry. I am ATI. Hesi. Ooh, Instagram split. ATI.
Let's see, 78%
Okay.
ATI, mostly ATI on
ATI
the YouTubes.
is more common. ATI is more common. So, okay.
You were in
Hesi.
You were in Hesi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my school used the Hesi.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I don't know. I have not heard anything by way of which one is easier, which one's harder. But I'm pretty sure anyone in an ATI program would say ATI is harder, and anyone in a Hesi program would say no, Hesi's harder. It's funny how that works out. No, I think they're pretty similar, which is why we talk about them together because they're kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make us look better on Instagram moving the camera?
Yeah, I moved the camera.
For Instagram knew.
Okay.
Instagram knows. We had to get it out of the YouTube shot, is the thing. Maybe we turn it more on Matthew.
No, don't do that.
Oops,
okay, there.
Sorry.
That's better. All
that
right.
Was a tripod
so, yes, ATI and Hesi, similar in the fact that they are...
They're curriculum that your program will use to help you learn the content. And the issue really with ATI and Hesi is that they're test banks. So your instructor will know kind of what's going to be covered on that test, but they're not going to know the exact questions because it's a test bank that your instructor did not write. Does that make sense? So Hesi and ATI are different from a normal nursing school exam, like test, because then, your instructor normally knows or will normally write your I'm saying normal a lot. Your normal nursing school exams, right? They usually write those. So they will have a much better idea of what is going to be on that exam. But on a Hesi or ATI exam, they don't know. They just have they know what kind of content is going to be on there, obviously, because they have to prep you for it. But they didn't write the questions.
So going back to Liz, your question when we first started this up, first ATI in 3 weeks, and the professor has sent us practice exams through the ATI website.
Yes.
Because it is a test bank, they're going to send you to the ATI website, and they're saying that she said it's covering everything that you've learned so far.
Yes.
So they know roughly what's going to be on the exam, but it is a test bank. Correct? Am I explaining that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
So here's my first tip for you that kind of piggybacks off of that, Liz. So the thing that you're going to want to do is focus on studying the things that your instructor talks about in class. So even though your instructor didn't write the exam, they know what's going to be on it. Like, they know the topics that it's going to test you on. They know the content. So focus on studying the things that you talk about in class. So Liz, can you tell me, do you have the ATI books? I think some nursing programs require them and some don't. I've heard some people don't have them. I've heard some people do have them. So anyway, I'm just curious. If you're in an ATI program, do you have the books, like the actual ATI books that say ATI on them? Can you tell me if you're in an ATI program, tell me if you have the books. And does your school require that? Or did you just buy them yourself because you wanted to know everything about everything?
Mars for Joe's has it.
Yes. Do for RN.
Okay.
Travis. I would imagine that they would require it for the Hesi. We didn't have a specific Hesi book. However, we had all the online stuff. A requirement. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. So yes, we have them. School gave us a set in fundamentals. And okay, here's a great question too. Do you have other nursing textbooks on top of that, or are those just your nursing textbooks? Now I have all the questions for you.
Our school requires them, but we also have them on ebook. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah. Have the books from ATI. My school just recommended we get them. Okay, Kristen. All right, interesting. Yeah, our school requires them, but we also have on an ebook. Yeah.
Yep.
Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. Yes. So I've seen it both ways. Oh, so Marfa, just really, you have another book? Other books on top of the ATI books. That sounds not fun. You shouldn't be reading all those textbooks. That's a terrible idea. So here's what I recommend. You can focus on reading the ATI books because that's what they're going to test you on. Really. I mean, as long as they're helpful for you. But focus on studying the things that your instructors talk about in class. Okay, so wherever they're getting their content from, whatever book, that might be what you want to focus on. But here's the thing, friends, nursing content is nursing content. So if you're bouncing between the ATI textbooks and some other textbook, know that the content is the same. Right? It's not like the pathophysiology of stroke suddenly changes from your ATI textbook to, some other textbook. That's not how it works, thankfully, right? So if you know it from your ATI books, you're going to know it from other books. So you can really consolidate your resources as much as you can, because that is just so much bouncing back and forth. I have a great answer for you, Savannah. The answer is yes, but I can talk about that in a second. So focus on studying the things that your instructors talk about in class. Read the sections of the book that that cover the topics they talked about in class. You've heard me say it a million times. Do that because your instructors know what you're going to be tested on. And, even though they don't know exactly what the questions are going to ask, they know what content that's going to be covered on your exam. If that makes sense. So that is tip number 1. Now, Savannah had a really great question. Do the Saunders book help for the Hesi exit? I think. Do you want to grab him? And can you grab the Saunders book, please, for me? Because that would be super helpful. I have several copies, several editions actually of that. I am assuming you're talking about the Saunders book, Savannah. Because there's what editions do I have? 7, 6, 8. I don't know. I have all the things. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Savannah, you have the orange one. Oh, okay.
6, edition 7.
I'll do 7. Is it edition 8? Savannah, can you tell me? Thanks. Okay, so here's the Saunders book. Is this the one you're talking about? Yours is the 8th. Okay, so I don't have the newest one. Mine's the 7th. Well, I also have the 6th because I went to nursing school a long time ago, apparently. So here's this. I love the Saunders book for studying for Hesi or ATI or for anything. So here's this. So here's kind of how it's set up. I'll just walk you through this really quick, just in case you were curious. But it's basically a study guide. Now, here's my real sticking point with this book and with any textbook at all, really. I have a real big problem with textbooks simply for a fact that they do not help you critically think. Now, if you're a Nursing SOS member, here's where we solve this. I started the Nursing SOS membership community because I looked at this book and I looked at the other textbooks, and it was just, there's a huge part missing in them because they don't tell you why things matter, and they don't tell you the why behind anything. They don't tell you why you need to know stuff. They don't tell you why signs and symptoms happen, or why we do the nursing assessments that we do, or why we do the nursing interventions that we do. And you have to know that for nursing school. That is critical thinking. So when you look at a book like this, when you look at your ATI books, when you look at, your Hesi online sites or what have you, they're going to give you a list of signs and symptoms to memorize, or they're going to give you a list of nursing assessments or nursing interventions to memorize. That is the start, but that is really ultimately not very helpful for you. You have to then take that list and you have to think to yourself, think critically about why. Why do those signs and symptoms happen? Why do we do those nursing assessments the way we do them? Why do we do those nursing interventions the way we do them? That is critical thinking, and that's what your ATI and your HESI programs are going to test you on. Does that make sense? So when you look at this book, it's going to give you lists. You see that here? I don't know. Is there any? There we go. Okay, can you see that? So there's lists there. Oh, okay. Instagram, YouTube, can you see? There's like, okay, do you see that list there? I don't even know what I'm pointing to. Assessment. So it's an assessment. It's an assessment part. So assess. So assessment, interventions, and then up here, it's like descriptions. So it's just like random things to memorize. Not super helpful. It's nice for review if you want to review, but kind of a bummer if you want to actually understand things. So anyway, that's why we solve that problem inside the Nursing SOS membership community. So we walk you through the why behind everything. We tell you exactly why signs and symptoms happen for a particular disorder. We tell you why we do the assessments as nurses, the way we do them. We tell you why we do the interventions that we do for those particular topics. You know, we walk you through the critical thinking behind everything. That is the way to go for nursing school, my friends. So this is a good high-level study guide for you to have, though, if you are interested. And I'm pretty sure this is how your ATI books are set up as well. So there you go. Just if anyone was curious, that is what Savannah is talking about. And yes, Savannah, so really that's what I say for the HESI exit when you're studying for the NCLEX or when you're studying for your nursing exams. High level. This is a high level book. Your textbooks are high level books. Now, I do believe that you need a deeper resource that walks you through the critical thinking, which is exactly why we created the Nursing SOS membership community, because honestly, as I was studying for my NCLEX, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to like read a textbook, go through a textbook, and then have to basically, you're still reading a textbook, but you still have to figure it out yourself, right? And you have to figure out, well, why do things happen the way that they do? Or, you know, you've got 1,000 questions, and a textbook can't answer your questions in real time. So kind of a bummer about that. But that's just, you know, obviously it's a textbook. So that's why we created the membership community. So by the way, join the VIP list, which is, well, just a fancy name for it. I will email you when enrollment opens. Right when it opens, I will email you. So if you go to nursingschoolofsuccess.com/join and get on that fancy VIP list, and I will email you right when enrollment opens, because you're gonna love it. All right, so that is the Saunders book if anyone is interested. I'm pretty sure your ATI books are going to be set up that same way. But that's really the thing about ATI and HESI, is that you're going to get your online slides like that. You're going to get your textbooks like that are very high level. And yeah, you obviously focus on studying, reading the sections of the book that your instructors talk about in class. Focus on studying those things. But you need something deeper. All right, Kristen, can you elaborate on what you mean by high level books? So exactly what I mean by high level is, I think it's just easier to show you. So let's see, anything. All right, this is maternity. Ooh, wow, pictures that we don't want to show you too. Oh, good times. All right, here we go. Let me find a, okay, yeah, transmission, or, okay, here we go. Can you see that? Right, I can't even point, you guys, this book is so big. Description, assessment. Do you see that there? There's a list of assessments of things. Instagram. We're getting really close and personal here. Assessment. There you go. There's a list of things that you need to assess. Okay, can you see that, Kristen, on YouTube? I'm sorry, it's blurry for you. That's probably not helpful. But it's basically just a list. This book just gives you a list of things to memorize. That is not helpful for you in nursing school, right? We do not want to just memorize lists of things, okay? This is a list of things that you need to assess for. And then they give you a list of interventions that you need to do. But they don't tell you why we do those assessments. They don't tell you why we do those interventions. They don't tell you what the pathophysiology is. You know, they don't tell you why signs and symptoms happen. So if you memorize a list of things from a textbook, and then you go take your exam, and your exam doesn't quite match up to the list that you memorized from that textbook, what are you going to do? You're kind of stuck, right? So that is why we want to make that leap to critical thinking, right? We want to make that leap, make that jump from, okay, I know this list of signs and symptoms, but also I know why those signs and symptoms happen. Because then when you're taking your exam, Kristen, you can think through the answers that they're giving you. Like, say they give you a case scenario question that asks, what are the signs and symptoms you might see in this patient with XYZ disorder? Then you look at that list and you say, oh, okay, yeah, these things make sense. Ooh, what's that one though? If like you get stuck on one, then you can think through the pathophysiology and say, okay, yeah, that would happen because I understand the pathophysiology. And so that would actually work. Or on the flip side, no, that wouldn't happen because I understand the pathophysiology and that does not make sense. Do you see what I'm saying? So instead of memorizing just a list, which is, not so helpful in nursing school. I mean, when was the last time you were tested on how well you memorized things in nursing school? Like, never. Does not happen. You have to make that leap from memorizing stuff to critical thinking. And that's everything. It's everything in nursing school, but it's definitely everything in an ATI and a Hesi program. Because like you guys know, I mean, critical thinking for ATI and critical thinking for Hesi is huge. I mean, how often do you hear this, right? Think like a nurse, critical thinking, all the stuff. It can be very overwhelming, but that's exactly what it is, okay? So, kind of walked you through. I hope that, good. I'm glad that was helpful for you, Kristen. So moving from that high level to more of a deeper way of thinking and integrating things together and critical thinking about stuff. We good? Awesome. I'm glad that was helpful. So that is that. Hey, Root. Nice to see you, my friend. All right. So can you guys tell me if your school uses the term concept-based nursing? If you're in an ATI or a Hesi program, can you tell me, does your school use this phrasing, concept-based? It's just this, I don't know. Have you heard this before, concept-based nursing program? Tell me in the comments. Savannah, I have taken fundamentals, management, and med-surg Hesi, so I want to make sure I am best prepared for the Hesi exit, and I will use UWorld also. Yeah, I have heard from not very often that schools use UWorld for NCLEX prep for their school, but if you're using it separately, yeah, that's cool. I've heard that it can be helpful. I personally did not do it. But honestly, if you have done well on your Hesis up until now, I think you'll be fine for the exit because it's very similar. You're already used to thinking in the Hesi way, or if you're in an ATI program, you are thinking in the ATI way, I guess you could say, So you're already thinking in the way that those tests are written. So you already kind of know what to expect on the exams and kind of how they go, if that makes sense. Neeru, my professor kept saying evidence-based. Well, yes, everything will be evidence-based. So evidence-based simply means that it's been researched, it's been proven, proven to as much as we can prove stuff. But it's been, thoroughly gone through the testing research process, and now we consider it to be evidence-based because it's kind of like the standard of practice. Basically, is what evidence-based means, which is different than concept-based nursing. Concept-based means that you're not learning things in isolation, but you're learning things as a group kind of together. So instead of learning, like for example, my nursing program, we didn't learn heart failure and hypertension in isolation. Like we kind of did, but then we molded it together. So you learn about heart failure, you learn about hypertension, and then whoop, you connect the two together and you learn about how they intermix, if that makes sense. So, yep, that's exactly what concept-based is. Okay, friends, so the next tip I have for you for ATI and Hesi, and this is huge. I have heard this from so many nursing students. Do not, okay, promise me, do not skip the practice tests. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I have heard from so many nursing students that the practice questions, this is particularly for ATI, I have heard, I don't know if this is a secret, and I don't know if I'm supposed to share it, but I'm going to share it anyway because you need to know. Do the practice questions. I've heard from many nursing students that the same questions that they got on their practice exams were the exact same questions that they got on the actual exam. Do the practice questions, okay? If you don't do anything else, that sounds like a pretty reasonable thing to do, is to do the practice questions, because it's really going to prepare you. That's just what I've been told. If you are in an ATI program, can you comment and tell me if that is how it has been for you? I'm curious. As far as Hesi goes, we did have some practice questions. We mostly went through the online slides, so you are going to want to do the online sites as well for ATI and Hesi, whatever you have available for you. This goes back to focusing on studying the things that your instructors talk about in class. So if your instructors talked about it in class, that is what you're going to want to study, okay? So if you're a nursing SOS member, for example, here's what you're going to want to do. If you go to class and your instructor talks about, whatever topics, you can just forego your book if you want to, and you can just come home, pull up a video, and we will teach it to you. Like, you can pull up a video, I will teach you what you need to know for that topic. Does that make sense? So, if you, go to class and then you come back home from class, study the things that your instructor talked about in class. In class, focus on those topics, because those topics are the ones that are most likely to show up on your exams. Pink Coffin, hello. What's the difference between Hesi and the NCLEX? Well, the Hesi is not the NCLEX. The Hesi is a prep curriculum. The Hesi and the ATI are curriculum that your nursing program will use to help you learn nursing content and prepare to take the NCLEX. The NCLEX is the licensure exam that you take to become a registered nurse, an RN, or an LPN. It's your board exam, right? So it's the exam that you have to pass, the exam you have to take, and the exam you have to pass to get your nursing license to practice. So the Hesi and the NCLEX, two very different things. Now, the Hesi and ATI are two pretty similar things. They're just two different types of curriculum, two different companies, two different types of curriculum, but very similar in the way that it's still a curriculum. They still give you practice tests. They still, their tests are what your school or your instructors will use to test you in class. You still have to pass those exams. Yeah, all the things. That's what you're going to go through during nursing school. Currently in fundamentals, need tips to pass. We're going to talk about fundamentals on Monday. I'm stoked about it. So, Savannah, you've taken fundamentals. Sweet. Fundamentals, Hesi. I mean, if you've taken the med-surg test, that's crazy. Like, this is what I always tell nursing students, okay, you guys, if you have done well in your program so far, you're gonna do fine on the NCLEX. If you have been, doing pretty good in school, you kind of have a grasp on things, like you're doing pretty all right, you're gonna do fine on the NCLEX. The reality is that the vast majority of students pass the NCLEX. That's the reality. You're gonna study for it, of course. So my next tip for ATI and Hesi is to focus on your weak areas. You will get that printout. After you take an ATI or a Hesi exam, they will give you kind of a report card. It's like a multiple page printout that shows you what your scores were. It'll tell you where your weaker areas were, where your stronger areas are, and then you can take that and really refine your study process for the next time. So make sure that you're focusing on your weaker areas so that good job sneaking in. Focus on the weaker areas so that you can, be more prepared next time, and do better. Obviously, you don't want to just focus on your stronger areas. Hey, 50-50.
It ended up being 50-50. Yep, everyone's a winner.
Everyone's a winner. 50-50. ATI and Hesi. Way to go, YouTube.
We'll see how long that lasts. But okay.
I wish I could do a poll on Instagram. Yeah. Okay, my school does not. So Nirut, hi. My school does not offer an ATI account. What else can I do to obtain the ATI information needed for nursing school? I would ask your instructors if they have access to the practice questions. That would be my question that I ask them, like tomorrow. Or email them right now and say, how can I get access to the ATI practice tests? That's what you want, Nirut. You want access to those practice tests. KBeauty01, hello. I'm in a Hesi RN program. Is the final exam the same as the exit exam, or are they different? Okay, this is an interesting question. The exit exam is okay, so the exit exam is when you're exiting your program. Now, KBeauty, you didn't say you're finishing your program. So the exit exam is basically the exam that you take that mimics the NCLEX. So your Hesi exit exam is going to mimic the NCLEX. Now, you might have kind of mini exit exams, if your school wants to call it that are kind of maybe your final exams. But at the end of your program, if you're in a Hesi program, your Hesi exit exam is basically kind of that mock NCLEX. So that's the one, that's like the big one that you take that takes multiple hours and everyone stresses over, is that exit Hesi, where that really gives you the full breakdown. You get tested on basically everything. Anything's fair game on that test. It's basically a mock NCLEX, and they're going to give you a whole big printout that's like pages and pages. I think I still have mine somewhere. I should pull that out, actually. I should find that. It's going to be pages and pages, and it's going to show you, where your weaker areas are, where your stronger areas are, and then that will help you get more prepared for the NCLEX.
Isn't there like some kind of like guideline, like, oh, if you got this score on a Hesi, then you're good to go for the NCLEX or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's 850. 850 is the threshold. So if you are, if you score like an 850, and you guys verify this for me, I think if I remember right, it's an 850 on a Hesi. If you score above that, and it's like tiered too. It's like, okay, 850 to 900, you're pretty good to go. If it's a 900 and 950, you're like really good to go. If you're above a 950, you're like great. And then, it's like 800 to 850, you probably will pass, but you should work on. So it's like tiered. Yeah, if I remember right. But I think 850, if I remember right, is kind of the cutoff for that exit Hesi. Like, you want to hit an 850. If I remember right. Now, someone double check that for me. That's just from my memory, and like I said before, nursing school was a while ago for me. But yeah, Hesi and ATI have been around for a while. Right now, I'm in Med-Surg 1 in psychiatric nursing. Yay! Two more semesters to go.
Yay!
Hooray! Yeah. Is there a psychiatric Hesi exam? I'm curious. If you're in psychiatric, because I've actually never heard of a psychiatric Hesi exam, and we did not have one, so I'm curious. Is there reading, math, and grammar on the Hesi? Absolutely not. No, this is just all nursing stuff. No, I mean, you have to be able to read and do math and understand grammar to take the Hesi and the ATI exams, but they're not going to test you on if a comma or a semicolon should be in the middle of a paragraph. That's more T's stuff. That is for T's Hesi stuff. Maybe that's the confusion. So yes, T's because it's ATITs. I got confused. It's ATITs. So the TEAS test is put on by ATI. Tell me if this is confusing.
Okay.
That's confusing. The ATI, there are two types. There's the TEAS test that you take to get into nursing school. That's the entrance exam. It's not even the answer because the entrance exam. It's the TEAS test. And then there's the ATI curriculum that schools use. So, Samia, happy to help. I'm glad that helped you. I hope it wasn't more confusing. But yes, those are two different things. Okay, I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice.
Okay.
I
thought I heard while you guys were while I was elsewhere, otherwise
putting a baby down.
Yes, occupied. That you guys did talk about the ATI and Hesi tests, how they are standardized, and how
Yep.
and how they go through that. What was one of the what was that? I'm trying to think through your tips. Thinking through your tips.
Yeah. So make sure that you focus on reading the sections of the book that your instructors talk about in class.
Okay.
Do the practice test. That's the big one.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Did you have something to say about that one?
Doing the practice test. Did you talk about like if you get them wrong? That's what I was.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
You jam on that.
Okay.
You
I can
talk
try.
about it.
Like, if you get it,
I'm losing my voice.
I don't remember like the terms of it, right? But if you make sure definitely that you do the practice test, and also make sure that you go through the rationales. That's it. Rationales for all the test questions, and even though you got them wrong, it'll explain why you got them wrong. So that's the other really, really good thing and the really big tip about. It's covering my face now.
Sorry. Well, I'm showing them the rationales.
Right. I'll just
you're talking about rationales.
So, it's really important. So that's the other really good reason to do the practice exams, not just because wink, wink, nudge, mudge. It may be much. It may be in the actual test.
Oh,
but
good.
It is also good that you can actually read through the rationales on why you got things right and or wrong. So that is important. All right, that's one of the tips that I was thinking of while I was rocking a child to bed.
Mudge.
Mudge.
Wink, wink, mudge.
Tia, sorry, just came in. What book is that? That is a book, a nursing book.
Sorry, guys, I'm losing my voice. Okay, it's the Saunders NCLEX Comprehensive NCLEX Examination.
This is version
7. And
make sure you get
told earlier
the most up to date.
This is not the most up to date. I think it's 8. It could be 9 by now. But this is not the most up to date. You'll likely want the most up to date one. I did use Saunders to study for the NCLEX and the Hesi. Yeah, it's helpful. I mean, like I said before, if you want a study guide, just think of it as a study guide because it's nothing more than a study guide, honestly. If you're in nursing school and if you're not studying to take the NCLEX, like if you just need to know the content, I honestly don't really recommend studying via this book because it's just, you see all these bullet points. I mean, bullet points are helpful to like have a review, right? They're helpful to have a review, but this book and textbooks like this book are exactly why I created the Nursing SOS membership community, because you can't just stop there. You cannot just memorize a list of things and call it good for your exam, right? You have to understand the critical thinking behind everything. So that's why inside the Nursing SOS membership community, all the videos, all the topics we walk you through, we've got hundreds of lectures, videos, step-by-step video lectures inside the community for you, med-surg disorder, everything you have to know. And we walk you through the critical thinking behind it all, so you actually understand it. You're not just memorizing a list of stuff, but you actually understand why things happen the way that they do. So when you get to your exam, you're so much more prepared because you understand it. You're not just memorizing things. So I definitely recommend that you join. Can you tell that I'm really excited about it? If you go to nursingSchoolofSuccess.com/join, ooh, you can type that in the chat.
Oh, okay. I will type that in the chat. Here we go.
Type it in the chat.
For YouTube. Anyway.
For YouTube. Yeah, we can't type it in the chat on Instagram. I'm sorry, because I can't type on my phone as we're recording live. So, nursingschoolofsuccess.com/join and get on the VIP list to join next time enrollment opens. So stay tuned.
Definitely stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. I will email you
Yes.
right when enrollment opens when you get on that list. Thank you for the hearts on Instagram. Really appreciate that. We have several members on. Hello, members. You guys rock. Hey, by the way, Nursing SOS members, we have the recorded video from the coaching call earlier, which was so fun. And what we are going to be doing is actually on our coaching calls on Wednesday. And so this is for Nursing SOS members inside the community. We do weekly coaching calls. So our lead nurse, Nicole, and I get on a coaching call with our members. And what we're actually going to start doing is asking our members if you want to come on video with us. So we're going to be talking to you in real time, like not just through chat anymore. It's always been just through chat, like answering your questions and stuff. But now we're actually going to be pulling you on video if you want.
If you want to.
Of course, you can still be in the chat if you want. But if you're a Nursing SOS member, you do have that opportunity every week on Wednesday to come on video with Nicole and I. And we are going to, be talking. I think next week. What are you talking about next week? I think we're talking about procrastination, like how to overcome procrastination. We talk about like how to study better, how to be more productive, how to study, when you have kids at home. Like we talk about a whole lot of different topics on those coaching calls to help you out with how to study in nursing school and how to pass. So that's exactly what we do.
Yeah, so we just changed some stuff around for the membership. So these coaching calls are super cool now. Super cool. So really, really fun stuff that we're gonna start doing with that, and more new things coming down the pipe. So
yes, that's just one of the many new things.
There you go. Yep. K Beauty got you hearts for YouTube. We all know how you
like
that.
Thank you. I love the Instagram hearts, and I love hearts on YouTube, except Instagram is very cool because it makes them fly. It makes them fly up.
And your emails are very encouraging.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Anne. That's nice. Some people email me and tell me that they hate me. So thanks, Anne. I appreciate you. Genuinely, though. It's funny.
It happens.
It happens. Root, I get overwhelmed with that book. I do too. That's why I created the community Root, because this book is gigantic.
It's a comprehensive.
It's huge. It's the comprehensive review. Yeah, but it doesn't help you critically think, which is the whole point. I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening with textbooks. I don't know. You can only fit so many words in.
That is very true.
1,000 and million billion pages. Be like our 4-year-old. 1,000 million billion.
Numbers.
Yeah. Numbers is a concept too. Littles. Okay, friends, on what day is it?
Today's Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. For a couple more hours, it is Wednesday.
For a couple more hours. I need a nap. I need to sleep. Okay, on Monday, we are going to talk about fundamentals. Nursing fundamentals. So, I'm excited because we haven't done a live video on that for a while. Hey, what topics do you want to talk about?
While you guys are typing that in, Wednesday? I'm gonna drop a surprise tip for the ATI. Yeah,
wow.
all on my own.
Matthew,
all
the non-nurse, dropping a surprise tip.
A surprise tip.
Okay, do
Take it or leave it, because
I love it.
Not a nurse. But I'm just gonna throw it out there anyway. Let me know if it's helpful too.
Yeah,
but yeah, it is kind of ATI Hesi related, but it also goes towards all your kind of exams as well. I know that a lot of people have issues with taking tests or test taking tips is kind of what we're talking about, but then just a mindset around taking tests. And I think that it is super important for ATI and Hesi exams, but also, like I said, other exams, is that because ATI and Hesi are standardized, right, and it's from a test bank, and yes, your teacher will know generally what is on the exam, there are chances that there will be things out of left field that, like, you wish you could have studied for, but there was no way that you would have known you would have studied for it. So just total random questions. It happens with test banks. And it might throw you off, and it might hurt your mindset, or really pull you out of your mindset, or really drive you into kind of this kind of negative circle of, oh shoot, I don't know this question. What else on this exam will I not know? And I guess the tip here is just don't let that get you down. Because there are those really random questions, again, for test banks especially, but even on any of your exams. It's impossible to prepare 100% for everything and know 100% of everything.
Yeah.
So just when you come across those, do the best you can, do your critical thinking as best you can to answer to the best of your ability, but also don't let that one question or a couple questions really affect the rest of your exam and really bring you down.
100%. Because we do tend to do that where we get stuck, right? We get stuck, and this one question, we didn't understand. So now next time we study, we're going to read the entire textbook. Don't read the entire textbook. It's not going to help you. Of course, like Matthew said, there's going to be times where your exams are going to test you on the most random medication that no one has ever heard before, but it's on page 732 of the drug guide. But no one's ever heard of it. There's going to be those things, and that's okay. It happens. But you cannot spend all of your time trying to compensate for those things. Like, you can't read every single word in your textbooks and expect to pass your exams. It does not work that way. You need to understand critical thinking, right? So, you need to spend the majority of your time on the things that matter, right? So make sure that you are, focusing on, like we said in the beginning of this video, focusing on the things that your instructors talk about in class, all right? That is the most important thing for you to focus on. And yes, even though they might pull out a question from the footnote on page 1034, doesn't matter, because you focus, that's just one question. But if you had focused on trying to memorize all the footnotes, then you really, really would have bombed your exam. Whereas you can just focus on, it's like that with the 80-20 rule.
The 80-20 rule, yep. Focus on the most important stuff.
Yep.
If you get that weird question out of nowhere, don't let that bog you down or get in your head too much. Just kind of move on. Vanessa is asking, exit Hesi or entrance exam Hesi? That's out of my wheelhouse.
For what? They're two different things.
Oh, okay.
So the entrance Hesi or the exit Hesi. I mean, this goes for all the Hesis.
Yeah,
The entrance exam, I actually didn't take the entrance exam, but that's like where they kind of test your... Wait, did I take the entrance exam? Now I need to think about I don't remember, it so long ago. I do vaguely remember taking an entrance exam, but I think it was the entrance exam to a term and not the exit. So like the exit Hesi is where you're leaving your program. The entrance is where you're entering your program and you just kind of have a baseline, right? Baseline knowledge. Yes.
Yep.
So friends, fundamentals on Monday. Kathy, you're coming in with a fantastic question, how to remember signs and symptoms. I'm going to talk about that on Monday. I think we have to because it's huge. So Monday, fundamentals. We'll talk about signs and symptoms. We'll talk about how to just learn things faster and more efficiently. That was the word I was looking for. The other E word. Efficiently. How to study efficiently. Like the work
smarter, not harder.
Not harder.
Kinda,
Don't listen to
something
Christina
like that.
this late at night.
What time Monday? Same time, same place, same time being 7, right?
Yes, we are here 7 p.m. Pacific every Monday and Wednesday. Coming at ya.
If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell on YouTube, and you'll get notified when we're coming up, and we try and schedule it early so it pops up like 30 minutes before in case you forget that we're coming on.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, definitely do that.
Aw, Crafty Hollow Designs. Thank you. You're great too. Love it. Fundamentals Monday.
All right, Fundamentals Monday. That sounds fun.
Yeah, we've never really done a fundamentals. Okay. All right, friends. We will see you on Monday.
Take
Have
care,
a fantastic rest of your week. Members, Nursing SOS members, stay tuned because we have things coming for you. Things. And members, I hope to see you on Wednesday's coaching call next week. If you want to come on with Nicole and I, of course, you can just stay in the chat if you want. Mm-hmm. But you can also come on video with us. So, super stoked about that.
I am Phil. I am Phil Darius.
Hello.
We're just wrapping up, but be sure to watch the replay either on Instagram or jump over to YouTube. All of our lives are recorded and there for your viewing pleasure.
For your viewing pleasure.
There's lots of tips and tricks.
Mudge. You had to be there. Okay, friends. We'll see you on Monday.
Take care, everyone.
Take care. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Have a fantastic night. And 'tis